Okay, so I'm gonna try this one again. The basic shapes. The way I like to do it is find a reference photo, and then I don't draw on the reference photos, but this is what I try to envision, what I try to see. And then I just try to copy down the shapes. Like so. And I go about it this way, the entire page down. Maybe I'll turn this off to make it more clear which lines I'm drawing. These green are not popping out of the page as much as I'd hoped to, so I'll lower the opacity of the reference photo, and then maybe they become clearer. Those are too wide, so I'm coming in a bit. Here. The basic shapes that I use are circle, triangle, and square. But mostly when I do these kinds of drawings, I don't do them like this. They all more or less become a round triangle, a squarish circle, or a roundish square, like so. I have done it this way just to visualize it more clearly. And then I go around the page and refine the edges. Remove these layers so we can see more clearly what we're working with. I wish I could zoom in this, but I can't, sadly. Yeah, that's basically it. And then we can go in and find these little edges and folds and details and whatnot. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering, I am not a native English speaker. This is my secondary language. So sometimes I tend to do American, sometimes it's British. So it all depends on where I learned the particular word I'm using. Mostly from TV. And that's why my cadence and my expressions, I guess, vary a lot. And I like to keep it very loose. And then I try to see the shadows as shapes as well. Just in the same way that I treat everything else on this page. The shadows are triangles, circles, or squares. And I don't fret about being precise because, well, that's not the way I like to do it. You are not incorrect if you do, but you're not incorrect if you don't. Find a process and a way of drawing that suits you, that you like, that you enjoy. If you're trying to make this your primary livelihood, then yeah, by all means, head on over and find as many different teachers as you can. And pick out the advice that you like and ignore the rest. There are very few rules when it comes to drawing and creating art that are actually rules. Most of them are just tips, which you can pick and choose from. Don't use the picking and choosing of different ways of drawing as a way to mask your insecurities. be honest and true to yourself and find what you actually enjoy. Because if you, at a very early stage in your drawing career or art career, find it tedious, you will most likely get bored with it and lose the drive and inspiration that you have. Now I spent way too much time on these feet, but you know, screw it. You got some little shading up on the neck over here. The hair is dark. Bit of shape here. I can see the front of his face is in shadow. The ear has some details to them. The ear. And yeah, that's basically it. Now if I stand up and try to look at this drawing from the correct angle that I was supposed to, I'll probably notice that it's too long. But that's because I'm sitting down here, looking at it like this at an angle. Ideally, I would have it like so. But I couldn't film them, so this is best I could come up with. And yeah, as soon as I stood up, I could see that the neck is way too tall and the head is a bit too small. But, you know, what you gonna do? I could enlarge the chin down to here. Make the ear a bit bigger. Kind of remodel the face a bit. Make this neck thing go higher. I don't know what this is called in English. The collar, maybe? Bottom of the ear is where the bottom of the nose is. The top of the ear is where the eyebrow is at. And then below that we have an eye. We got a lip and a lower lip. Okay, time to stand up again to watch it. Better angle. Well, yeah, that's better. Not perfect, but better. This one took me about 10 minutes to do. And if I wished to prolong or do more details, I would go in with my trusty Lamy Safari with ink and just find the edges. Work extra hard where there's shadows. And I still do it very loosely and don't really fret about details or being precise, because that's not my style. That's not what I enjoy doing. A lot of times you will hear people talk about doing consistent lines instead of doing scratches, hairy little lines. I tend to vary them. Again, that's a stylistic choice because I like it. I can do these long, fluid lines if I want to. But I tend to enjoy it a bit more doing these fidgety, scratchy lines. Both the feeling of drawing them like this, but also the way it looks. Another thing is leaving the sketch in. I just like the way it looks and feels. And not having the hassle of doing the erase dance every single time. I'm quite new to this whole thing with recording, speaking and drawing at the same time. So bear with me. I'll try to get better at speaking simultaneously. But I guess that comes with time. As you can see here, I'm not really caring about what it is I'm drawing. I'm just filling in the shapes that I found, putting down marks, putting down lines where I feel they should be. I like to consider drawing arts in general and shape and form to be kind of like a big toolbox. You gotta have a lot of tools in there, and you can pick for yourself the ones best suited for your needs. Some of you might already know exactly what you want to do. Perhaps you want to have like super crisp lines and popping colors and doing like work for video games or for animation, and feel like I want my stuff to look like Disney. Well then, that's what you should do. Some of you might be like me. I like to learn a lot of different techniques, mediums, and just try stuff out because I think it's fun. This is just a water-filled brush because the ink in these ones are not waterproof. So I go in and I bring out just a little bit of that ink to make shadows. Same thing here, not being overly careful, or rather not being careful at all, just doing what I feel like. And my eyes go back and forth a lot. So that I can put the shadows in at roughly the right place. But then the same thing applies here. I try not to think about it too much, and not really care if it's correct or not. It's more about placing value. A bit of dark spots here and there. And there we go. Start to finish, 15 minutes or so. Now this is not something that I would put in a frame and put up on the wall, because this to me is just a study. But I have found with the passing of time that that's actually what I enjoy the most. Doing these kind of quick drawings, mainly off of photographs, using them as reference. Yeah, I hope you learned something, or that you can try to take something away from this. And if you do, please leave a like and a follow, and I'll keep posting this.